Uh-oh. I think I failed to create a thumbnail for the oh well. I forgot to make a thumbnail for the stream. Uh oh well. Start the car. All right. All right. I'm hoping that I've got good audio. Sometimes it takes a while for the. Okay, yeah, there we go. Oh, all right, y'all. Couple of things to talk about. Number one, shout out to Robert Frank. Wow, I mean, so important to get 2 feet in front to run across the red light. Okay, shout out to Robert Frank. That dude is hilarious. I couldn't really think of a really great title for today's live stream. So, being that I spent 5 hours destroying myself today. I decided to make today's title an ode to the one and only Robert Frank. Mrs. Evil is in the mofo. Mrs. Evil ran a 4-mile race today. Shout out to her. Apparently, her second fastest splits for 5K running distances. Shout out to her. All right, so let's get through the workout that I did today. And then I want to mention something very, very interesting that I'll probably end up bringing up on TS. Today I did not want to get up, but I just got up. I was not feeling very motivated today. I took my pre-workout. That didn't change anything. Um, Today just was one of those days I got up and it just, again, like I keep telling you guys all the time, you're not going to have it every time you step into the gym. Now, that being said, um, I that being said, I had to really dig deep to not bitch up today. Um, I really was like very tempted to. I don't know. I don't know what I was tempted to do. I've been working so hard against my own will for so long now that even when I want to quit, it's never like a real viable option. So I don't quit. But man, I just wasn't feeling it today. But man, as I got closer to defeating 4 sets of 11 at 405 on the leg press, I got to tell you, um, the motivation started to creep up a little bit. Like, okay, let me just get past this. Okay, let me just try that. Okay, let me just get to this next station. Let me get to that next station. Let me go to the car. Take off the SBDs, the leg, the knee sleeves. Let me go get, the Versa grips. I had to go and grab the Versa grips. All right, so I defeated 4 sets of 11 reps at 405 today. Next up, I added a repetition to the leg curl. 4 sets of 12 at 110 pounds. What was notable about that, besides the fact that I did take a little bit more rest period, the normal is that I really did focus on the muscle and not the mechanism. I did not focus on trying to articulate my knee. I focused on trying to squeeze my hamstring, and the quality of the repetitions today miles better than the last 2 weeks. So I might have figured something out that will allow me to advance, which I will next time anyway. I will be working at 4 sets of 8 at 130 on the prone leg curl. Next up, I was responsible today for 4 sets of 12 at 185 on the hack squat. The actual was 4 sets of 8 at 225. I went up in weight today. There's some neurological stress that went with that. I had to really bear down because it appears that the bottom of my quads wasn't really quite prepared for that level of neurological stress. But I did the 32 reps of 225 when the proposed was 4 sets of 12 at 185. So I'm very happy with that. I really did try to focus on the deep stretch at the bottom, and my left quad stopped bothering me when I really just kind of sat at the bottom, let that stretch happen, really try to dig as far as like get a really good stretch in my glutes, and then really try to press my heels down, particularly my right heel, down into the platform with a good glute squeeze to increase the quality of those repetitions, which I was successful at. By this time, I had already gone through the Lox's We Are the Streets album. Again, like I've been thugging a lot of these workouts out lately. And then I switched to Ludacris around this time, word of mouth. That was fun to listen to mostly. You skip some tracks because some tracks you need to be intense, and some of the tracks aren't as intense. Like, I need some bombastic shit over here. I did 4 sets of 10 seated leg extensions at 150, and that was a little bit easier than I was anticipating. So next time I'll be going up. A little short break, and then I was responsible for vertical pull, and after vertical pull, biceps isolation. Now, the assisted pull-up machine at the gym that I go to is not very good. It is not very helpful, and it's nothing like the assisted pull-up machine that I use at my home gym, which is still the best that I've ever used to this point. And so it's very difficult to figure out exactly, how to, try to match the amount of assistance that the platform is supposed to give you with your assisted pull-ups. Is very difficult to find that when you're using a whole different type of machine. And a lot of these machines for assisted pull-ups are just not very helpful at all, to just to be frank. So today I actually tried to step up and put more of a stress on me. So normally what I would do is 3 sets of 7 unassisted pull-ups, and then I would do 3 sets of 10 assisted pull-ups with about 20 pounds of assistance. Today, I knew that I couldn't really count on that, but I also wanted to kind of step my game up a little bit. So for one day only, I wanted to do 6 sets of pull-ups unassisted. So, like I said, normally I would do 3 sets of 7 unassisted and 3 sets of 10 assisted. What I did today was my first set, I did 10 repetitions unassisted, then 9 reps unassisted, then 8 reps unassisted, and then 3 sets of 7 unassisted. So I did 6 sets of pull-ups unassisted today. Then I went and did my medium pronated grip lat pull down. Then my closed grip supinated after that. So I did 4 sets of 9 at 165. The machine at home, the machine is at 160 pounds. At the gym where I do my leg workouts, it's at 165 pounds. So I stayed at 9 repetitions. That it felt the quality was pretty good. Then I did 4 sets of 9 at 143 because the machine is calibrated in kilos. So the next step down was 22 pounds or 10 kilos. And I did 4 sets of 9 on that. So that was 8 hard lat pull down reps after 6 unassisted pull up sets. It hurt, y'all. It really did hurt. And then my assignment would have normally been 4 sets of 10 incline bench, strict dumbbell bicep curls. And I was supposed to do 4 sets of 12 at 40 pounds, then 3 sets of 12 at 30 pounds, and 3 sets of 12 at 20 pounds. Because I had been in the gym way too long, because people, you should not be in the gym training for 5 hours straight. Or for most of 5 hours. There are some rest periods in there. I had to do a little bit of an intermission in between. The three. Specifically targeted. I was targeting legs really hard. Then I was targeting back really hard, and then I was targeting biceps really hard. The actual says I just didn't think that 120 reps. I just thought it would cost me more energy than it was worth than if I just did 80 reps. So today, instead of doing 4 sets of 12 at 40 pounds, I did 4 sets of 8 at 45 pounds. Then I did 3 sets of 8 at 35 pounds instead of 30. And then I did 3 sets of 8 at 25 pounds instead of 20. And I was really working on making sure that the eccentric phase is nice and slow, nice and controlled, so that I don't injure my bicep, because I cannot afford to have an orthopedic surgeon put my arm back together like Humpty Dumpty. So I had to put a lot of effort in, especially since I'm on an empty stomach. I have not eaten since I woke up at 7:15 this morning. It is now, at the time of me streaming, it is 2:04 p.m. So I have not eaten in about 7 hours since waking up. And I think I slept like 6 hours. So yeah, I'm definitely in a catabolic state right now. But I really do feel pretty good about the efforts that I made today. Because once I got that motivation going, again, swole is the goal, size is the prize. It's gains the clock, MFer. Let's go. Now, Robert Frank would not approve of me doing legs, because apparently that's for the Rainbow Brigade. But I did 16 hard sets of legs. Then I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10, 14 hard sets of vertical pull for lats. And then I did 10 hard sets of biceps. So I think that Robert Frank would forgive me. And, it being Saturday, International Arms Day, I think that I satisfied the requirements to put little genius in the places that I want to put him in. I satisfied the requirements. Because Robert Frank is very clear. Your arms better be effing swole. And I think that I'm doing pretty good. Not where I want to be, but I'm doing pretty good. Okay. All right. So when I get home, there's going to be 5 eggs with like lots of cheese and chicken sausage and spinach. And it's spinach because we don't really want to rely too much on asparagus for my caloric intake. And I'm not really going to talk about why. All I'm going to say is that you should drink a lot of water, eat a lot of fruits, particularly pineapple. Guys, okay, okay. Now, now, I want to talk about a guy that is going to ruin one of my favorite Marvel characters of all time. This guy wants to ruin Deadpool for Doctor Evil. Now, you guys have probably seen me on streams. I have a couple of Deadpool shirts. I have a Deadpool, tank top or whatever. Apparently, there is a serial unaliver of women, and his given legal name is Wade Wilson. Number one, I gotta tell you, I'm very disappointed. I'm very, very disappointed that, come on, man. You're this weird white supremacist with different Nazi symbols tattooed on your face and all of that. Man, well, why can't you just be Earl or something decidedly backwoods or something? Why you gotta be named Wade Wilson, man? Come on, man. So apparently this guy, and I really don't want to get too deep into the details because one day I'd like to get monetized in this channel, okay? But he randomly and seemingly for sport saw a woman on the side of the road and did what he believed to be the most dastardly things that he could do to this woman. And then he went and he did some other really disgusting things to another woman. And then he went to his mate and then nearly took her off the census. Okay? Now, we know that serial unalivers are pretty rare in society. They have, different diagnoses that are in the super, super, super duper rare. Super duper rare. And this guy is even more rare than rare. And apparently, what makes him so rare is that he was just sentenced to some sort of chamber where there's an executioner and they flip a couple of switches and some chemicals go in you and then you stop breathing permanently and it's government thanks guy thanks guy you're so awesome. We're supposed to share the road, we're supposed to merge, and he's like, no, we don't merge here, we don't share the road because I need to get to my destination 0.0003 seconds sooner. Forget sharing the road so that the traffic flows decently. right? Okay. Anyway, so we know that the serial unalivers, and I'm not talking about the cereal that you buy in the supermarket. We know that these people are very rare in society, which is why they give them all kind of weird names, specific names, like hurricanes, you know? And what makes this guy even more rare than those guys is that apparently, the women are able, large swaths of women. I only discovered this yesterday because this was brought to my attention by social media. But large swaths of women, particularly it seems women that read romance novels. I don't know. I couldn't really tell you. But apparently, there is a large contingent of women who are lusting after this Wade Wilson guy after it being very clear because many of these women discovered him because of the video taping of the sentencing phase of his trial, where he was awarded the ability to stop existing at a time and place of the government's choosing, right? These women's, all their uteruses just started becoming sopping wet at the prospect of getting with this guy who is a person convicted of actually being a danger to women. And they're in lust with this guy because they find him to be physically attractive. You can't make this ish up. You can't. You can't make this ish up. And some of the women, some of the posts that I've seen are from women who are disgusted by the women who are flicking their bean to this guy who you would actually want to steer clear from and run towards a bear. Somebody make this make sense. And of course, when you call out the BS on social media, the feminists they can't just deal with the issue at hand. They gotta call you all kind of derogatory names. Oh, you're a red pillar. You need therapy. They want to shame. They're using all kinds of shaming tactics, and it's like I'm reporting to you that there are women lusting after a serial unaliver, and his targets are women. But for me to call out the BS of the women who are lusting over a guy who actually does hate women, I'm the one that needs therapy, not the women lusting over him. Make it make sense. Oh, you're on that red pill stuff, and you're just upset because you can't get women to like you, and you're involuntarily celibate, and you're just here on social media because you can't get women. And it's just like, I've heard all of the insults, I've heard the shaming language, the guilt. Shame, insults, guilt, and the need to be right. We've heard all of this stuff before. It doesn't work anymore. You're going to have to try something else. Like, address the issues that the men are bringing up. You can't, on one hand, talk about, I choose the bear, and then start rubbing yourself to a person who expressed the ultimate in behavior of his hatred towards women by actually taking them off the census to a degree where a pacifist liberal government still decided to take him off the census. But when I call out that you women you can't have it both ways. You can't express extreme misandry on one end and then be willing to voluntarily place your throats between that guy's thumbs. You can't have both. You can't have both. You got to choose one. I hear all of this about women are in constant danger, but none of you have moved to the woods to go hang out with the bears. Goldilocks actually put her money where her mouth is. She actually went to the bear's house and ate their food. She actually put her saliva in all three of the bear's food. But I got to hear from women who are on social media taking advantage of S tier, S world amenities built and maintained by men. I got to hear them, we choose the bear. But they're still walking around the men. They're not walking around the bear. And every single time I hear a woman or I see a woman on social media talking that I choose the bear, I'm like, listen, stop. Like my dad used to always say, don't talk about it, be about it. If you choose the bear, I'm going to need you to leave society, go to the woods, go to where the bears nest, and go live with them. Get off social media, stop running your mouth, and actually put some weight behind your words. Go live with the bears if you're safer with them. Don't be around the men that you're so afraid of, who make sure that the water runs. Make sure that when you poo, the poo goes far away from you. The guys that make sure the roads are paved, that the electricity is on, that the buildings that you choose to live in and occupy when you go to work, that they stay standing and don't collapse. I'm going to need you to get away from all of us dangerous men and go live in the woods. Haven't heard a single woman actually put actions to their words. Not a single one. But a month after they're talking about this bear stuff, they want to run toward the serial aliver. And when you call them out on it, you need therapy. Really? Really? I'm going to continue to keep calling out the BS. And every time I call out the BS, some woman is going to call me involuntarily celibate. I can't get any women. Hey, Mrs. Evil. Apparently, I can't get any women. Making all kinds of weird assumptions, don't want to actually address the issue. Ladies, you can't have it the same way. You can't lust over someone that hates you simply because you find him physically attractive, and then gonna disrespect all the other men because you don't find him physically attractive. And shout out to all the women. Apparently, there's this sub community on social media uh, known as a book club or something like that, if I'm not mistaken. And some of these women are not having it. They're not playing that BS. They're calling out every woman. They're actually blasting them on social media like, yeah, I know who you are. I see you. I'm going to. Make sure I get screenshots so that people know what kind of woman you are, lusting after the worst of the worst in our society. And we're going to call you out lusting over this piece of human garbage, subhuman garbage. There are some women out here that are calling them out like this. They're not playing no games. They're like, no, you will not fetishize a serial unaliver of women, not on my watch, and you're not part of my community. The videos that I've seen today, shout out to those women who ain't playing those weird, we ain't keeping the same energy games. There are some women out there that are like, nah, we're not doing that today. No. And the funny thing is the women that got caught out there when they got their names named, oh, can you please take it down because my kids and I don't want people to find out. But you posted this lusty response to a serial unaliver's video of him being sentenced to the get in the ground penalty. Let's see what JL has to say. Shout out to JL. He made the stream today. Mrs. Evil was here. Bear or man in the woods? Are they asking for a death wish? Maybe they meant the Dagestani bears. Probably the Berenstain Bears, if we're being honest. You know. Um, so JL, is it hard to get or something? You're talking about sexual access. Yes. For the majority of men, sexual access is extremely difficult to get because as this whole Wade Wilson story has shown, uh, women would much rather put themselves in danger of being on the police blotter as no longer existing. They would rather put themselves in that position than deal with a regular, everyday, average man. You got this Ebony K. Williams woman talking about she can't get with the bus driver, right? She can't date a bus driver, but she can go take a vial and a turkey baster, squirt it up her insides, and then go be an intentional single mom where the father makes exactly $0.0 a year and is perpetually unemployed because she is intentionally becoming a single mother. The average man that makes your life possible is so horrible that you would rather use a turkey baster and then run to your nearest serial unaliver if he is tall enough, his hair is coiffed enough, and his jaw is square enough. That's the type of time we on. The average man is getting no buns because all the women are waiting for their next supermodel serial unaliver. Priorities all out of sorts nowadays. Yeah, you preaching to the gospel, brother. JL makes another good point. Why can't people leave the personal lives personal? Not everything needs to be online. Well, the thing is, here's the thing, JL. Um, in this increasingly more isolated society, it does not matter really because attention is still the currency by which women's souls run on. So even as we've become more isolated as a species with modern technology and the advent of the internet. The internet allows the women who really have a jonesing for attention, it allows them to get that quick hit of endorphins, to get that attention, to get those likes, to get virtuehood through victimhood. So they have to put out all their personal lives on the internet so that they can get some sort of attention that soothes their itchy need for attention. There are women out here, I've seen women get on social media and talk about having relations with animals just to get people to react to them, or talk about doing stuff with their family or with their husbands or boyfriends' family, I, all to get some attention. And in some of these cases, I'm not even convinced that these women are all telling the truth when they say that they engage in really vile, disgusting things. I just think that they just want somebody to react to them so they can get some attention. JL goes on to say, so they put all their business online, and when they get put on blast, they complain that others are talking about it. Yeah, because here's the thing. It's okay to get online and talk about what a woman put out on the internet as long as you're co-signing it. If you hold her accountable for her words and actions and ideas, at that point, it's grounds for complaint. They are supposed to be allowed to say anything they want and have everybody cheer and shower praise upon them without exception. And again, this is not all women, but we're talking about the type of woman that, JL, please avoid. You already grew up with a woman like that. You don't need to be voluntarily uh, surrounding yourself with or committing to a woman that has these types of behavioral traits. Anyway, I'm long overdue for some nutrition. Thank you, Mrs. Evil, for administering the live stream today. Thank you, JL, for hanging out with me today. I appreciate you. And I'm going to get up out of here. Thanks so much for your support. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.